As you heard, I am Sister Dr. Alexis Pauline Gumbs, queer Black troublemaker, Black feminist love evangelist, prayer poet priestess, Afro-Antillian granddaughter, time traveler, and space cadet. This morning and all day, every day, I carry with me legacies of resistance and transformation, and most especially, most incessantly, the confrontational brilliance of my chosen ancestor, Black lesbian, feminist, warrior, poet, mother, Audre Lorde. Many of you know Audre Lorde's work and probably have drawn from her, quoted her in the work that you do, and it's great to be in a space where people will say woohoo, first of all, as opposed to who we say Audre Lorde's name, and who are using these concepts that there is no hierarchy of professions, that the master's tools will never dismantle the master's house. Audre Lorde is here with us in this room and in this work as a guiding ancestral presence through the challenging and beautiful words she made her life into, believing that we would deserve them. So in that spirit, today, the sacred text I draw on is Audre Lorde's groundbreaking essay, Eye to Eye, Black Women, Hatred, and Anger. This essay is so important to me because it looks really closely at how internalized oppression manifests within oppressed communities, doing the daily work of loving ourselves and each other, and I think it is the most brilliant analysis I've seen about the violence we can do to each other when we think that we are the same. In the midst of this essay, which actually started in letters, some sent and some never sent, to other Black women who Lorde loved and struggled with, Audre Lorde says this, or as we say in Durham at Queer Black Sunday School, thus saith the Lord. I am who I am, doing what I came to do, acting upon you like a drug or a chisel, to remind you of your meanness as I discover you in myself. So I bring up this particular quotation in this particular space because I think it brings up and challenges what I see as one of the major stumbling blocks of dismantling the ways that privilege reproduces ignorance, our insidious practices and structures of ignoring each other while appearing to be paying attention. Y'all paying attention? Okay. So, on one hand, what Audre Lorde is bringing up here reminds us very much of what we do already, relatively comfortably in social and professional space, probably what you have been doing this morning while you're waiting for me to get here at this conference. We look for ourselves in each other. We meet someone who we do not know, and we start asking them questions so we can find ourselves. Oh, hi, person with a name I can possibly pronounce. Where are you from? Oh my goodness, I used to live there. I went there once for a conference. One of my friends moved there. Do you know so-and-so? Oh, you went to the same school? What year? And my sister went there. It's a really simple thing that we've done a million times, and we're almost always successful at it. We find something that lets us know that this unknown person is actually familiar and related to us, through places we have chosen to go, people we love, things we know about. We feel connected. You ate at my cousin's favorite restaurant once? You must be smart. You must be human. You must be cool. I must be cool. Yes. So there's really nothing wrong with this itself. I know I'm kind of doing a parody, or maybe that's exactly what we talked about this morning. But we are right to assume that if we engage long enough, we will find connections. We are fundamentally interconnected. Audre Lorde's anti-oppression theory and Black feminism more broadly is squarely based on the belief that we are deeply intertwined in this society and as a species and beyond. But Audre Lorde doesn't say, I am who I am, doing what I came to do, acting on you like a mirror with really good lighting in the department store dressing room. She says like a drug or a chisel. The challenge that Black feminism brings, and that Audre Lorde's work especially brings out, is that as much as we are connected by those sweet coincidences that affirm who we are, inside an oppressive society, we are also connected by our relationship to oppression. Some of us are connected because we share benefits of other people's oppression. Some of us are connected by the ways we benefit from the suffering of the people we meet and their families. while those of us who are products of the diversity paradigm, and especially those of us engaged in this work, have a lot of practice looking for ourselves and other people who are different from us in ways that affirm who we already are, we rarely practice looking for ourselves in other people's lives in ways that highlight our complicity with oppression and give us the opportunity to dismantle and transform ourselves by discovering that we might have an affirming and a violent relationship across and through oppression. Like a drug, we might decide to numb ourselves to the challenge differences pose. Like a chisel, we might rewrite our being. We might do the hard work of transformation. To be clear, I am not suggesting that anyone in here start reaching out to shake people's hands with a question in mind like, let's see what place your ancestors might be from where people are suffering so I can have access to the cheap tropical fruit I ate for breakfast this morning. I can see that devolving into an opportunity to purge privilege guilt all over oppressed people very quickly. But my point is that the conversations we have with other people are mostly designed to recycle a conversation we want to have with ourselves. I'm awesome. I'm connected to people around me. Did I mention that I'm cool? And to balance that worthy conversation that I certainly love to have with myself, we do need to develop the practice of inviting ourselves to challenge ourselves productively. How do the people I meet and the ways they are different from me challenge me to step up my work as an ally? Is there an opportunity for me to admit to myself that I have been ignoring something about my own life and practices because it makes it easier for me to live with my privilege and collaborate with oppression? We should be doing both of these things. And I think that this conference is the perfect place to practice, and I have some activities for us to engage in towards that in a while. But first I want to make something very, very, very clear. The shift that I'm talking about that could bring us into balance by seeking affirmation and challenge in each other is certainly something we can all do, but like everything inside of an oppressive society, it doesn't operate the same way for everyone. Privilege deeply impacts the way this plays out in our lives. In fact, through our oppression, we are challenged all the time by our conversations in social spaces and caused to question ourselves and our practices. For me, usually in the form of, am I smart enough? Do I deserve to be here? Or even, does the fact that I ate at the same restaurant as this guy's cousin mean I'm a sellout and removed from my own people and inauthentic? All of this is going on. Could you tell? All of this is going on. While from a privilege standpoint, we think we are doing something awesome by finding ways to say, this person is like me, as if being like who I think I am, for example, based on my ableist, classist, cisgendered privileges, is some great gift I can bestow on someone by telling them that I too have been to a completely different part of the city that they live in once on a layover. We are all interconnected, but there is something violent, something that reproduces oppression when I get into the business of evaluating another person's relatability based on my own ability to think that they are the same as me. There's also a violence in me affirming that it is so awesome to be the person that I am in the ways that privilege affords. So let me give an example. Ooh, y'all, this Denver air. I said slight air, and I'm like, this is like slightly air. Take a deep breath. And say, for all of my education, I have been one of very few Black people and very few people on scholarship at elite private white educational institutions. And I really do not have time to talk about these decades of trauma and microaggressions right now, but I will just talk about elementary school. In my elementary school, I was literally the only Black student, not just in my class, but in the whole elementary school. I was also the only person of color at all until Melissa Chang joined me in our journey of tokenization. And if anybody knows Melissa Chang, if you can find me on Facebook, that would be really great. I really appreciate it that you came to school. And I was also the only student that I knew of on a scholarship and from a family that could not have afforded the tuition for a private elementary school that I went to. And I appreciate the hustle and work my family did to get me access to that opportunity. And I appreciate how mostly nice the teachers and students at my elementary school were to me. I generally had a lot of fun and learned a lot in elementary school. And during all of that time, my fellow students were being trained for their roles in a diverse but white-dominated world marketplace by finding commonality with me. Oh, Lexi likes the Babysitter's Club books too. Our favorite color is purple too. We're twins. This was said to me a lot. And that is confusing. But all of that is fine. I'm sure it was socially a good thing for these white girls, it was an all-girls school, to have a black friend, to know someone black and West Indian who was not their housekeeper, and to think of someone black as human and smart and cool and a student like them. However, this joyful experience of sameness did often erase me, and did often slide into, well, Lexi, I don't even think about the fact that you're black. You're just my friend. And aside from the fact that I did not consent to having my whole historical relationship to generations of amazing black people erased, so I could have a new identity as Susan's friend, aside from that, this form of socialization was also operating like a drug. These friends might have learned not to use racial slurs because they would hurt my feelings, but their structural ideas of race and class were not challenged. Because remember, I am not like other black people. I am like them. So, a lot of these nice white people, who some of which are my Facebook friends at this very moment, had the opportunity to grow into adults who could really easily cooperate with capitalism and continue to believe what capitalism requires them to believe. That in general, people of color and poor people are morally inferior, can and should be exploited because it's good business, etc., etc. They can continue to comply with the systems that require beliefs about whole groups of people and just accept exceptional people like me, who they know and have decided are like them, except for the fact that I have some weird kind of hair they can't really go equal as much. In the meantime, while all these white kids were finding commonality with me and calling me their twin and making friendship bracelets, I was having a serious existential crisis. Who am I? Why am I different from everyone else? What differences can I hide? How do I continue to make these people think I am like them so they accept me instead of hurting me? I was learning so much about their behaviors, values, and norms because I had to. I was just one person. They were everyone. And I had to survive in their world. And not just that. I had to be the absolute, always smart, clean, excellent, best, most creative person up in there because I was trying not to affirm negative beliefs that they were going to have about whole groups of people I love anyway. Those experiences did act on me like a drug. I am still dealing with the negative consequences of an addiction to affirmation from white people and affirmation from white supremacist models, like especially a Protestant work ethic. And those experiences acted on me also like a chisel. They are still a major part of who I am and how I move in the world. I am using deeply internalized things I learned from those experiences right at this very moment, in this talk. And you can bet that whatever my classmates are doing this morning, they are not having to ask themselves, is the way I am speaking right now a result of the fact that I went to elementary school with one black student? Or is this just the real me? They are just eating their tropical fruit, like always. So am I clear? Maybe some people in here can relate to some or all of what I experienced. What I'm saying is that Audre Lorde is talking about difference, and not difference in a way that is digestible by capitalism. In Lorde's world, we are not becoming fondue together in a melting pot for capitalism to dip some bread in. We are not some cute salad bowl waiting for imperialism to dish us out. This is a drug or a chisel, or both. And it freaks me out. It's a major challenge. And we actually routinely defend ourselves from this because it's most visible in confrontation. And in confrontation, we think that this transformation, like a drug or a chisel, will steal the basic truth we want to believe about ourselves, which is that we are love. a species, everything else, all life is love. We are manifestations of love in every moment. We are. As another great Black feminist poet, June Jordan, once said, love is life force. And the lilies in the field, and us, and bugs are alive. We are loved despite everything. And we are right to believe this about ourselves. But oppression has messed up our understanding of the fact that love is not scarce, and love is not threatened by anything. We think to be loved, we have to be liked by other people. We have to be who we thought we were. We have to be right all the time. And when it is the drug or chisel transformation moment, we feel like we're going to lose that basic truth.